This regular meeting of the Marshall Independent School District Board of Trustees is hereby called to order. Let the record show that a quorum of members is present and that this meeting has been called in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. We wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone who is present this evening. This is a regular meeting and all items that will be discussed or voted on this evening have been posted as required by state law. As the MISD Board of Trustees, we are pleased that you have joined us as we celebrate achievements, set goals, listen to reports of the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, and personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. We are not here to make management decisions. That is the responsibility of the superintendent. This is a meeting in the public, not a meeting of the public. You are a guest and you are welcome to observe and listen. If you would like to address the board in the public comment portion, I think they might want to. If you wish to address the board in the public comment portion of the agenda, please fill out the public comment form found on the back table and return it, the completed form, to our superintendent secretary. We're pleased that you've taken the time to join us this evening. Someone like to open us in prayer before we get started, please?
You got it?
I got it. Thank you. Let us pray. Let us pray, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Lord, we just thank you. Lord, I lift up our school district and this board of trustees to you. And we ask for your leadership, wisdom, and your spirit to be present with us as we make decisions for our schools. Lord, I pray that your plans and purposes for our district and schools will be reflected in our long-term strategic planning. Lord, I also pray that you will empower us as board members to stand for what is right, for what is justice, and what is for truth. Consecrate our hearts and renew a right spirit within us, Lord, so we accept each other in love. Lord, let us desire one thing, that our students receive all that education has for them, no matter what system flows through it. Heavenly Father, we know that you are in control and will bring us together so that your will be done. In the wonderful name of Jesus, thank God. Amen.
Amen. We will now have our pledges. Please stand with us. We have a few helpers this evening that are going to help us, I believe.
We do. Do we have Aubrey Lewis here?
Yes, she is.
Can Aubrey come up here to the front? And were we able to have Nicholas Stewart Allen here?
Ready to go.
He's ready. Look at him. He's ready.
All right, we're going to walk over this way so we can see the American flag.
You can come up.
Go right up there, right, Mr. Medina.
You ready?
All right, we're good. Are y'all ready?
Ready?
We'll do the American flag first.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's so cute.
All right, now we're going to do the Texas.
There you go. Go right up there.
Y'all get front and center.
There we go.
All right, y'all rock.
Right here. Okay. Ready?
You ready?
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Beautiful.
We're going to get our picture made. And beautiful. Stand right here. Stand right there. Y'all already look so nice. Nicholas, thank you for leading our pledge. Stand right there. Aubrey, thank you for leading our pledge. Stand right there. And we're going to get our picture taken. Ready?
Can you hold your certificate up front?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Awesome. Best way to start the year.
Good job, guys.
Okay, we also have our Extra Mile Award. We are blessed enough that every month we get to recognize one of our staff members. And this is the first nomination of the year, and this comes from Dana Culberson, principal at Marshall Early Childhood Center. There she is. Go ahead and come on up here. You'll have to be in the picture, Miss Culberson. goes. She is the perfect example of what going the extra mile means. She is dedicated, reliable, and a dependable person. Ms. Daisy Stacy steps in and helps with whatever needs to be done, usually without being asked, and never complains, truly never complains. She goes above and beyond the call of duty and never falls behind her secretarial duties. She is an amazing person and an asset for Marshall Early Childhood Center, but also to Marshall Independent School District. Oh, no, there we go.
1, 2, 3.
All right.
Okay, our next item is public comments. Do we have any of those, Ms. Scott?
No, sir.
Okay, moving along to administrative reports. Item 1 is the property tax status update. We have Mr. Flowers here, I believe, from the appraisal district. Welcome.
Step right there.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us today. I'm Lee Flowers, and I've had the opportunity to meet some of you via Zoom. It's just not quite the same on Zoom as it is in person, and it's good to meet y'all in person. I don't have much in terms of details for you that you're usually accustomed to. I understand that in the past, the chief appraiser has kind of given you some type of picture toward the future in terms of values and whatnot, and I don't have that for you today. It may be that we might want to come back at some point in time. I definitely think we may need to come back in February, depending on the property value study. But just let me tell you kind of what we've got going on right now. What I can tell you about appraisal district operations for sure is this. The employees that are at the appraisal district right now are dedicated, they're good people, they want to do the right job, they want to do the right thing, and they are hard workers. That is the staff we have right now. Currently we're like 17, I think, not counting myself, and they are wanting to be mentored, they are wanting to be educated and trained. So it is going to take some time because many of them don't know much more than what their day-to-day tasks are. That is something that we're addressing currently in terms of bringing them along in terms of other things that they do need to know how to do. There has been far too much concentration of command and control, and we see now the problem that comes in when you have that. Obviously, Dr. Langley is not making all the decisions for everybody, pretty much throughout the school district, whereby if she were to leave and go somewhere else, she would just be up the creek without a paddle. And that's not how you run an organization. So we invest in our leaders, we invest in our people, and we train them and bring them along. And that is where we are right now. Obviously, I would say the most pressing issue, but they're all pressing, but one of the biggest challenges we have ahead of us is trying to set our values for 24. 23 is over and done. There's nothing that can be done about it. Right now, that die has been cast. And I wish I could tell you right now today where all of our schools will come out on the property value study at the end of January, but I simply cannot. We will be waiting with breathless anticipation, all of us, for January 31st, keeping an eye on that website as soon as those come in for the property value study for this year's values. When those come in, we will be looking at the study to see if there is anything that can be appealed. And the schools need to understand that there's only so much that you can do with an appeal if there's nothing to appeal. The values have been wrong, and when they are, it's an appraisal district problem and not a PBS appeal problem. It is an appraisal district problem. So we will be looking at that very closely. But apart from that, we cannot wait until February to try and start working on our 24 values. My overriding concern for any and all of the values that we have on the roll is simply that they're as close to market value as we can with the data we're given, and that they're uniform. And I think in both of those instances, market value as well as uniformity, I think in both of those instances, the values that you have been seeing are not meeting that goal. And this is not going to be an easy fix. So that is something that we're also ramping up for, trying to figure out. It's not just a matter of raising or lowering values. It's also a matter of trying to figure out whether things are uniformly appraised. So that is also another big challenge that we have. I don't have much good news for you right now today, except for the fact that we have a staff of people that are good people, dedicated, and they want to do right. They just don't know enough beyond their just day-to-day tasks to really be beneficial overall. There is, for all intents and purposes, little to no management left. So that is putting an extra strain and burden on just normal command and control, but we're working our way through that. Some days, I feel like the youngster that was right over here a while ago. Okay? Unfortunately, nobody has taken me out of the room. Some days it feels like you're trying to plow through cold molasses in January, no less. There's days that I work all day long, and I'm sure we all have those days, and you wonder at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and what was it that I was supposed to do today, because I worked all day and didn't get a thing done. That's what it feels like, isn't it? So we're taking the small victories. We have already made some movement. We are making progress. One of the things that is slowing us down is quite, regardless of what it is, whether it is truth in taxation or whether it is you have your levy process coming up. And I understand I sent an email out not long ago asking if you had any copy of your certified levy, and nobody has anything like it. Or whether it's the budget or the finances or the values. One of the biggest problems is we're pretty much having to reverse engineer. And that is significantly slowing me down, trying to reverse engineer to figure out how this plus this got to this. But it's just going to be continuing to take it one bite at a time. I don't know about you, but I don't particularly like the taste of elephant. But I understand how you eat an elephant one bite at a time. So that's about all I have for you right now today. I will tell you, however, that I personally do deeply appreciate the welcome that I have received from very many people that I have interfaced with in Harrison. I want to tell you that I do deeply appreciate the patience that the jurisdictions have extended throughout this process. And I want to tell you that I know very well that as soon as those notices of value go out next year, I'll go back to being the most hated man in the county. So I'm enjoying my honeymoon while I can. But that's all right. That's just part of the job. Are there any questions that you have that I might be able to answer? And if I can, I'll find an answer.
I don't have a question, but I do want to thank you for taking on this role. It's much needed by the school districts, and we appreciate you doing the work that you're doing.
Well,
Definitely.
Thank you.
Very much so.
Thank you very much.
Hey, if you would, tell them a little bit about your background, your years, and how long you've done this.
I came out of A&M in '92, and
It's always a
thank you. What is it that the Baylor Bears do? I mean, Guns up, I know Texas Tech, God forbid, I'm not gonna make the Texas sign. What is it that,
Right now, we pray each Saturday.
Like so many of us.
so it's, okay, all right. So anyway, I came out of A&M in 92 on the 7-year plan, married with our first child, and went to work for the appraisal district in August of 1992. So I finished up 31 years this last August. Chief appraiser since 2000, August of 2000. So that's I've been in the business a little bit. Unfortunately, the appraisal district in Cherokee is kind of like the appraisal district in Harrison. It's a 401A, so I couldn't put my 20 some odd years and get a pension, right? So we didn't do school retirement or county retirement or state retirement, so it's a 401A. So I still have to work, but that 31 years in the business since 2000 as chief appraiser. I'm very active statewide in various organizations. I'm on the board of directors for the Property Tax Education Coalition, as well as a member of the board of directors and officer for the Texas Rural Chief Appraisers Association. I have been involved in years past legislatively. Right now, and I say right now, my passion is education, and I am a certified instructor in the courses that we have to achieve our license as a registered professional appraiser. So beyond that, I am a member of the clergy. I have a pastorate in Rusk. So between that and family time, roughly 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. in the morning, I have some spare time. So, but that's pretty much my pedigree, and I will tell you, if you have anybody that expresses concern about the fact that they could not come in and talk to the chief appraiser about their property, I will tell you point blank, I don't do that. We have staff that does that. If it floats up to something serious enough, yes, I will get involved, but the reason that I don't is, number one, it is demoralizing to the staff to have a certain select number of people that can go straight to the bat cave and pass all the little people, and I don't play that game. And that is the biggest reason there. But beyond that, during 30 days, during that time period, I'm working on budgets and other things else, but that is what we have, 7 appraisers, I think, on staff. That's what they're there for. So if anybody complains about not being able to go directly to the top, that's why. I'm very constitutionally minded, and our Constitution calls for market value, 100% market value, but it also calls for uniformity. I have no patience whatsoever with, if you want to come, you just come talk to me, we'll fix your value, it'll be okay. You're good people, right? Okay? You're out of luck, however. I've got no patience with that whatsoever. So regardless of the personages that may be in Harrison County, whether that is the appraisal district favoring or the opposite, I have no patience whatsoever with that. What we want to try to do is try to get our values at market value and do it uniformly across the board. Getting there is going to be a bit of a challenge, but that is the goal at the end of the day. Fair enough?
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Vaughn is here, I believe, to talk about the delinquent tax collection.
Good evening. Thank you guys for having me back again. We're going to start on page 3. The chart on page 3 shows you the total revenue from tax collections for MISD for the last 4 years. The way that you get to over 100%, you add the current taxes, the delinquent taxes, plus the penalty and interest. So for the fiscal year that you all just finished, which would have been tax year 2022, 102.43% of your adjusted levy was collected during the fiscal year. For tax year 2021, which was fiscal year ending 2022, 101.04% was collected. Tax year 2020, which was fiscal year ending 2021, 102.41%. And then tax year 2019, which was fiscal year ending 8/31 of 20, 102.46 of your adjusted original levy was collected during each of those years. On page 4, this shows you your cumulative tax collections by year as of August the 31st. So of the taxes that you levied for tax year 2021, 98.33% of those have been collected. The 2020 taxes, 98.81% have been collected. Your 2019 taxes, 99.10% have been collected, and your 2018 taxes at the end of August, 99.24% of what you levied has been collected. Does anybody have any questions about those two charts?
Now is that taxes and P&I, or is that just taxes?
These numbers are both base tax. The next numbers that we're going to talk about are going to include some penalty and, well, actually, I'm sorry. The chart on page 3 includes penalty and interest. The chart on page 4 is base tax.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Sorry. Looking at page 5, this deals specifically with the work that we do on your behalf. Tax year 2021, 13 months of collection activity, we've collected 66.55% of what you turned over to us. Tax year 2020, we've had those for 25 months, and we've collected 70.27% of what you turned over to us. Tax year 2019, we've had for 37 months, and we've collected 83.16%. And tax year 2018, with 49 months of collection activity, we've collected 85.38% of what you turned over to us. Now, you're probably wondering, we're in 2023, so why is Liz not talking about the 2022 taxes? You just turned the 2022 taxes over to us on July the 1st, and so I don't want to stand up here and tell you that there's a 22 or 35%. That's not really a good picture. We just got those and just started working those. And to give you a little bit of perspective as well, tax year 2018, your initial levy was $32.2 million. Of that amount that you levied in 2018, there's only $243,674 that are still outstanding as of the end of August. Pages 6 through 8 break down the status of tax year 2021, 2020, 2019, and 2018 into various categories. It shows you the percentage that's collected for each of those years, the percentage for each of those years that is covered with either a suit or a judgment. Accounts that are being worked, or what we call research in progress. You do have some accounts that are included in bankruptcies, and so there's a percentage for those. There's also a percentage for tax deferrals. Remember, those are over 65 or disability deferrals, and they continue to exist as long as the individual owns and occupies the property as their residence homestead. At some point in the future, they are collectible, but right now they're not. And then the last category is uncollectible personal property. Personal property can be uncollectible because it's left the jurisdiction before the tax statements even come out. You know, the tax values are done as of January the 1st. The statements come out in October, and they don't get turned over to us until July of the following year. It is not uncommon for there to be property here on January the 1st that's not here personal property-wise by the time the tax statements come out in October. And other than tracking people down and suing them and getting a personal liability judgment, which we do where we can, there's not really anything that you can do to collect some of those taxes. If you'll move over to page 9, these two charts show you a snapshot of the district's delinquent tax balance broken down into those same categories. So for tax year 2021 and prior, right, because this doesn't include the 2022s, the total outstanding 2021 and prior was $2,811,587. Of that, 24.82% is currently covered under either a pending lawsuit or a judgment that is either waiting for sale or that has been abstracted. You have bankruptcies over a very small portion, 1.17%. And I know y'all probably remember me telling you last year that bankruptcies were up. Bankruptcies this year are down compared to where we were last year and the year before, so that's a good thing. Your tax deferrals are up slightly though, and I don't necessarily see that going down. So approximately 14.73% of your entire delinquent tax roll is covered by a tax deferral at this point in time. The chart on the bottom half of this page gives you a breakdown by year so that you can see what years are outstanding. And if you look at the chart, you'll see that the majority of taxes are 2019, 2020, and 2021. And as we talked about in the previous charts, the majority of those are going to be collected over the next year or so. Your total outstanding, including your 2022 taxes, is just over $3.92 million. That is almost $1 million down from where we were this time last year. From July 1 of 2021 through August the 31st of 2023, we've mailed over 23,000 notices to your delinquent taxpayers involving 55,882 properties. We filed 307 lawsuits involving 809 properties. We've taken judgments in 225 cases involving 379 properties. We have done tax warrants, both mineral tax warrants as well as personal property tax warrants in 77 instances with 486 delinquent accounts. Your total notices mailed, the number of suits, and the number of judgments has increased compared to where we were last year during our report. During this time period, we've posted 395 properties for sale. Of those, 308 were posted for the first time, and 87 were posted as a resale. What that means is we have to set a minimum bid. It's set up under the tax code. If we don't receive that bid at the tax sale the first time, the property gets bid in trust to the taxing entities. You all hold it in a proportionate share to the taxes that were owed at the time of judgment, and we always offer those back up for resale at the courthouse steps every December. So any of the properties that have been bid in trust this year for this fourth quarter sale of last year through the first, second, and third quarter sales of this year will be offered for resale in December of this year. We're able to offer them for a reduced price when we offer them for resale, and the point really is to get the property back on the tax roll in the hands of somebody that's going to pay the taxes on it. What that also does is it removes all of the old years that were uncollectible off the tax roll, so you all have a more accurate picture of what's actually out there to potentially come into your coffers. We have appeared in 18 bankruptcy cases. Again, that number is down from the report that we gave last year. So when we have a tax sale and the property sells for more than the total that's owed against it, the difference gets deposited into the district clerk's registry. It sits there for 2 years, and the prior owners and lien holders and others have the opportunity to come in and claim those excess proceeds. It's a fairly simple procedure. Where they don't claim those proceeds within 2 years, we go in and under the tax code, we're allowed to file a motion for the court to release those proceeds to the taxing entities. Again, it's a proportionate share based on the amount that's owed at the time of judgment. And during the last 4 fiscal years, we have brought $384,719.08 in excess proceeds from property that has sold in MISD. And I just filed some more motions on today, actually. I proofed them over the weekend, but I filed more, so I'll be delivering more checks for excess proceeds in the very near future. We do also conduct a taxable value audit for the district at no charge. In the past few years, we have recovered $59,580 in additional state aid as a result of your values decreasing after certification. That recovery was for tax year 2019. We found a value reduction of $8.45 million, and that resulted in the $59,580. For tax year 2018, we did not do a taxable value audit because that's the year that the legislature changed the way that they did some of the school funding. And so there are no taxable value audits that are filed for tax year 2018. 2020, and you haven't gotten a letter yet about this, Dr. Langley, but the 2020, we just got all of the information from the appraisal district and performed the analysis to determine whether it would be a good idea to file a taxable value audit. Turns out that for tax year 2020, your value increased $52.6 million after certification, and so we will not be filing a taxable value audit for tax year 2020. Does anybody have any questions?
Those are great numbers.
Yeah, yes, we appreciate what
Thank
you
you.
do.
All your work.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item 2 is the superintendent's report. Dr. Langley?
Just a couple of things. Our internet, actually, at this building, ROTC and MEGS, is down. Some work was being done, fiber was cut, and we are patched, we being this building, I don't know, ROTC, did they get patched over to the high school too? Okay. We're patched over to the high school, so we were able to get our internet back up. MEGS is probably going to be out for a day or two. So they will not have school tomorrow. I believe Mr. Hancock and his staff will be there working, but the students will not be there. Isn't that weird, though, that it's way across town and then these two buildings? I thought that was kind of strange. Just a couple of things. We were very excited. Our September attendance average was 94.21%, so we were very happy about that. Just as a FYI for our community and for y'all, we have beginning of year testing going on with our K through 8 campuses this week. Marshall High School will be next week, and the 6 weeks ends Wednesday. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
So that's kind of all I got for y'all. It's already rolling by. Oh, enrolled as of today, we had 4,957 students. So right at that 5,000 mark, getting up there.
All right, thank you, Dr. Langley. Moving along to consent agenda action items. You'll see all of the normal items that are normally in there.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Palmer and a second by Ms. Fisher. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? That motion carries. Moving on to matters requiring board discussion action. Item 1 is considered and approved the non-business day calendar for public information requests for 2023. Ms. Scott?
We recently discovered with House Bill 3033 that we have to be a little more clear on what we consider non-business days as it pertains to responding to public information requests. And unfortunately, fortunately for us, being out of school so many days, there's about 11 days that we will physically not be in the building, but we have to count those as business days if we get a public information request. And so we have created a calendar that outlines that, and we also found out it's supposed to be done for a calendar year, not a school year. So our plan is to do it every 6 months when we have when we know what our school calendar is, and we'll just do that every 6 months so the public knows when to count as a non-business day and when not to count as a non-business day.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion on that?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Palmer and a second by Ms. Marshall. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? That motion carries. Item 2 is consider and approve the vote entitlement and nomination resolution for the appraisal district director selection. We have until October the 16th to do this, so we're not going to take any action on this tonight. We're going to wait till a little closer to time and do a little more research on that before we take any action. Item 3, consider and approve the District of Innovation to rescind the amendment pertaining to the out-of-school suspension. Mr. Chilcote?
Hello, so we are back again discussing the District of Innovation for out-of-school suspension. Last board meeting, you
We've done it 3 times.
recommended the language pertaining to the out-of-school suspension for students 3rd grade or below. TEA has not approved that language. It is the same language that other Harrison County schools have used. This year is their time to re-up their District of Innovation plan, so we feel as if TA is not going to approve this language for them either when they do their recommendations for the District of Innovation. We believe they've had a change of heart in dealing with these third graders and below, so they're not allowing us, and we believe they're not going to allow anyone else in the future to do it as well. So I'm asking you to rescind the amendment pertaining to the out-of-school suspension for students below third grade.
Okay.
I move that we rescind the DOI amendment pertaining to out-of-school suspension for students.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Marshall and a second by Mr. Medina. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? That motion carries. Moving along to education, item 1 is consider and approve the district/campus improvement plans for 23 and 24. Ms. Cruz.
Good evening to everyone. Y'all do not have to listen to me through all of these. I have backup, and so they are much more entertaining than I am. But we're going to start with our Marshall Early Childhood, and then just principals as it rolls up to your time. Just step up to the mic and take it away.
Okay.
Okay, first time, but I'm gonna do what I can here. Goal 1, academic performance for all students. The first bullet is our students' academic performance will increase from beginning of the year to the end of the year. We're going to increase the language with intentional lessons, create and execute processes to contact and offer incentives for attendance. And goal 2 is recruit, retain, and employ a well-qualified staff. We're going to provide targeted professional development for areas of need, provide staff acknowledgments for personal and professional accomplishments. We partner new teachers with veteran teacher mentors, encourage and support teachers, teaching assistants to continue with the coursework for certification. Goal 4, safety and discipline. We're going to provide a safe, nurturing, and inviting environment that is conducive to learning, maintain a locked campus, and provide training materials and support for conscious discipline. And our goal 5 is parent and community engagement. We're going to facilitate family-to-family support, encourage involvement in all the campus activities.
That's good. Very good.
Ms. Bayless with Crockett. Thank you, Ms. Culverson.
So, Ms. Culverson, I think they should have went in reverse order since we're new. We should have been the ones to go last so we can see how it's done. So, just want to put that on record. Go ahead and write that down in the minutes. Okay, so with Crockett, our first goal, provide a well-rounded instructional program to increase student achievement. As we know, TEA is always right. So from the first report that came out to the last one that came out, our student achievement domain 1, we want to get it from an F to, right now I'm aiming for 65, that will go up. But right now, since I'm new, can I keep using it? I'm new. I'm still learning. Student performance will increase by 15% in all student groups on local and state assessments, and provide productive PLCs facilitated by our instructional coaches where we analyze data and lesson plan feedback. We are using Schoolment Grow to help with that. Goal 2, recruit, employ, and retain well-qualified professional staff. Provide teachers with instructional and classroom management support through training, coaching, and observational feedback. Create a positive working environment to attract and retain highly qualified faculty through incentives, praise, recognition, and positive feedback. We are doing that. I'm a big kid, so I think elementary was probably somewhat okay. But we have scratch-off cards that we're giving the teachers for things that they've done that we want to highlight, where they can win free duty-free lunch, or they don't have to do car duty or something like that. And provide continuous professional development to enhance teacher efficiency and effectiveness. And goal 3, cultivate a culture and climate to foster partnerships and collaboration with parents. We are enhancing literacy through implementation of family curriculum nights. We have our first one, bilingual night, in October. We are promoting and growing our PTO. We went from 2 members last year to now about 40. And encourage family involvement at student recognition events, brag ceremonies, and progress parades. We have our first brag ceremony next Friday, and after every common assessment, we will do a progress parade, which is kind of like a senior walk, but it's for those who have grown on their data. And as you see at the bottom, that is our theme for this year, the season of growth, goals, resilience, opportunities with togetherness and hard work.
Okay, very good. All right.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good.
I told her she had to be entertaining. Like,
Just for you to remember. Good evening, y'all. So, our 3 main goals this year, Price to Young Elementary Fires Academy will provide well-rounded instructional programs to increase student achievement. Professional development is a huge part of what we're doing at our campus this year, trying to teach our teachers how to teach. Last year, I'm going to kind of get ahead and talk about the recruitment and the employment, because they go hand in hand. We, for the first time in a long time, Price to Young only had to hire 5 people this year, which was awesome.
Right.
So,
Very good.
yes. So with that comes the stability that we've been looking for Price to Young. And in that, we are also able to say, okay, you've gotten the 1 year under you, now we can grow you as an individual through professional developments that our instructional coaches are leading there on campus, as well as the district folks here at the Central office. We also plan on increasing academic performance in reading, math, and science for all students by May 2024, using state assessment targets set by TEA, which we're still waiting on to see what that means. But we try, and we can't play their game. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Their game is not fair, but our goal is always to grow. And every year, since I've been there, we have grown every single year. So that's, as long as we're growing, we're doing our jobs, in my opinion. Price to Young Elementary Fire Academy will cultivate culture and climate to foster partnership and collaboration with parents. We are working to establish rapport with stakeholders in ways that build trust. I think that we are seeing a decrease in our discipline already from previous years, which is exciting. Also seeing more support from parents. We do have more people signing up for PTO similar to Crockett than we have in the past, so we're very excited about that. So, thank you very much.
Very good.
I'm just a temporary step-in for tonight. Thank you to Miss Emily Wood, who is here repping for Sam Houston STEM, but she said if I didn't mind doing it, she would appreciate that. And I said, I will do that.
For the latter.
So she took care of the PowerPoint. So Sam Houston, she worked well with their team and also working with Ms. Livingston these past couple of weeks and getting their goals set. So Sam Houston will provide continuous job-embedded PD strategies across their content areas, as well as implementing STEM-focused instruction, systematically track student growth through the classroom data tracking and incentives, and incentives for students that show growth on assessments. And you keep hearing that word, growth. I hope you hear that trend. That is our goal, is to grow our students. And Sam Houston increasing the integration of literacy in science classes through the utilization of resources to enhance reading, writing, listening, and speaking within the science curriculum. As we know, STEM is the science, and also we know that the STAR reading passages are social studies and science. So the importance of putting those reading pieces in there. To recruit, employ, and retain well-qualified and professional staff, create a productive learning environment to attract and retain qualified faculty and staff. We know that consistency is key in our students' education and academic achievement. Sam Houston will provide opportunities for educators to monitor, plan, and model rigorous instructional strategies to build teachers' understanding in the content areas. That's an area that also our district curriculum coordinators are working on, is modeling. Sometimes our new teachers don't know what it looks like, sounds like, feels like. So we are working to try to model a lot of the content areas, especially those tough SEs. And then cultivate a culture of climate and foster parent partnerships. So they'll establish partnership with our communities and schools to work with our at-risk students, and we have contracts with all of our campuses for that. that except for our MECC, and provide involvement opportunities for parents and community members to bring awareness to their students' education.
Very good.
Good job. Good job.
Good job.
I'm new.
We don't want to hear it.
So, for William B. Travis Elementary, our first goal is academic performance for all students. Now, let me preface this by saying, I don't know if Dr. Langley shared it, I'm going to share it. My blood pressure has been elevated since I got my this preliminary score of a 76, and if they don't hurry up and tell me something different, I think I got one foot in the grave and one foot out. So if I might have to go ahead and drive to Austin myself, but so this is stressing me out to the end. So for our academic goal, and again, we're still waiting on what those cutoffs are going to look like, but we're still going to provide prime time, which is accelerated learning instruction daily for 45 minutes, which will be Monday through Thursday. For students in an effort to bridge the learning gaps of students who did not make academic progress in the previous year. We're going to accelerate the academic growth of the students who did make academic progress and keep pushing them towards mastery level. We're going to utilize our Read 180 program intentionally to address the reading deficiencies of students in 4th and 5th grade. We'll continue our partnership with Starfish Society to increase academic performance and of at-risk students during Saturday school, which will begin in January and it'll go through April. We're going to push it as far as we can get it. And then our second goal is to increase parental involvement as well as community partnerships. And with the community partnerships, we typically have community organizations that help us to do special things for our students. For example, Mobley Baptist Church is very instrumental in supporting us for our end of 6 weeks attendance parties, and when we have celebrations, they sponsor all of those activities for us. We've also maintained a continuous partnership with Sam Baxter and the McCool Smith Law Firm, and so what they did this year, they've paid for every student to get a free t-shirt that has their logo on the back of it and Marshall ISD. Our theme this year is Team. Together, everyone achieves more. And so using all of those partnerships together, having all hands on deck to continue to grow the campus. We're also looking at partnering with McCool Smith and Mr. Baxter for Christmas things for our kids that because we are a Title I campus and due to our economically disadvantaged percentages. We're also looking at different opportunities for our teachers and making sure that we're not just providing opportunities to celebrate the kids, but opportunities to celebrate the teachers as well. And so they were very grateful for the pens, for the years of service. I'm just about worn out with hearing they're a year off. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. That's all you get, though. That's the only pen you get. But they're very grateful for the pens that they receive. And so I work them very hard, but I want to praise them along the way. And so we're still working to praise our kids along the way and pull in our parents for all of our parent involvement meetings that we're having here on campus. The next one is going to be Not Your Average Math Night, where we bring the parents out, but we're continuing those opportunities so that we can educate the kids and some of our parents as well.
Very good. Good.
Ms. Roseborough?
Exciting.
Any night with math would not be an average math night for Dave.
Well, all right, here at Marshall Junior High School, we've decided we're going to extend our story, okay? So our first goal is to increase the academic performance of all our students. We're going to do this by training the staff on the data-driven instruction process, which includes all sources of data. We're going to train staff on the new state accountability system. Yes, we're going to learn it.
That's what I was thinking.
We're going to learn it, and then we're going to train them. And then it was the goal for last year to obtain some distinctions, so we're going to learn that process for obtaining distinctions. Our teachers are creating a data tracking process so the students can track their own progress. complete data talks with staff. We're going to continue to do that. Focus on Tier 1 instruction, which is going to include a process that we call aggressive monitoring, and we're going to be looking at the formative assessment piece as well. We're going to monitor alignment with lesson plans, monitor the alignment in the classroom and lesson plan development. For goal 2, recruit, employ, and retain some well-qualified and professional staff at Marshall Junior High School. We're going to assist our DOI staff with completing their certification process. We are working with PTO to give incentives and appreciation and celebration for staff. On the 21st, you will see the Model Maverick teacher that's going to come out on Facebook. That's a process with PTO where they have a special parking spot, and the comments that you see will be the comments that were supplied by the students about that particular teacher.
Nice.
We're building a positive and collaborative culture among the staff, and we want to recruit early for any anticipated openings for 24, 25 early is the key word. We're going to continue to host events and meetings to involve the parents in the world of Marshall Junior High. I'm kind of excited about this one because this was new. The UIL is sponsoring our ice cream social because we're recruiting students to participate in UIL, and also we want the parents to know exactly what their kids are doing and the events that they're participating in. We're going to continue to use Thrill-Share for parent communications, and this is another thing I'm excited about. Marshall Junior High School broadcast and journalism students are creating the advertisements that you see on the social media page, especially Facebook. And so they're taking that initiative to create those advertisements for the community and the parents. And we hope that if the kids get excited about it, the parents will as well. So here at Marshall Junior High School, we're extending our story because it's still true. It's not for me, but for we.
All right, very good. Very good.
Mr. Jerry Hancock and Meg.
My cousin did a good job, didn't she? First cousin. Good evening, everybody. Good to see you again. It's been a few months since I've been in front of you. So I am almost 60 days into my tenure at Meg's. It's been not that I'm counting, I'm just 30, 60, 90, just got to have those goals. Realized early on Meg's had to get back to the basics before we could move forward. Specifically spoke to Dr. Langley coming on in that position. It was time for Meg's to evolve, and that's the end goal. Some of those things as far as moving forward, we needed to evaluate any and all systems that were in place to promote safety and efficiency across the organization, remove any and all barriers to student success to help support student participation. That was very important. And I tell the kids this almost every day. Our job is to get you from point A, which is today, to point B, which is graduation. They heard that from day one, and they'll continue to hear that, and that we are removing those barriers. As far as goals, we had 3: student achievement, attendance, and dropout prevention. For student achievements, we are trying to make sure that they are getting at least 5 credits, those students 9th through 12th grade, so that they're keeping up. Attendance, we're gonna shoot for an overall attendance rating for the campus of 80% this year. I know that may seem low at first, but I met with Dr. Langley and Ms. Kroons last week and shared information about overall attendance for last year, and 80% will be quite an accomplishment if we can get that this year. And the last one, dropout prevention, that just is what it says. We are trying to intervene early and often. If we can just keep them there and not drop out, we have a chance, and they have a chance as well. The one thing I would say about all these goals and everything that affects Meg's, it's attendance, and it's an overwhelming sense of apathy from students and from parents is really what affects every single thing that we do every day over there. So we're going to be addressing that as well, and I'll leave you guys with the good news that we actually had our first graduate last Wednesday.
All right. Wow.
Mr. Gregory, Marshall High School.
Who would have known you have to have internet service to do it? Thanks.
Morning. So, Marshall High School, we want everybody to show up with a plan in mind. What's your overall end goal? And that's why we call them ACEs. Get accepted to a 2 or 4 year institution of your choice, get certified in industry-based certification, or get enlisted in the military, but have a plan. Walking around without a compass in the wilderness is a bad idea, and so is going to high school without a plan. So make sure you have a plan, Mr. Lewis. Our first goal is a well-rounded instructional program to focus on student achievement, and I don't mean this in a crass or insensitive way, but we aren't going to play the star game. We're going to focus on the one thing that is going to help our kids more than anything, and that's literacy, and we're going to go from that way out. We have some stability in our English staff. We have a fully staffed, all of our EOC content areas are fully staffed again. Most of the same, pretty much all the same people. Most specifically though in our English 1 and English 2, which is a focus. If our kids can communicate, read and write, they have a chance in everything that's going to be put before them in terms of from an academic standpoint. Another thing we're going to focus on there in that goal 1 we added this year is we're going to put a number to it. We're going to strive for 95 or greater % of our students achieving a CCMR point prior to their graduation. That means that they're completing their IEP, they're completing 9 hours of dual credit, they're getting some AP credit, they're getting an approved industry-based certification, all the various things that they can use to get a CCMR point. We're going to look to see that 95% of our kids do that. We've added, this year we finally got Ms. Tidwell isn't in here, but it's been a work in progress when you're dealing with the federal government and grants and different things, but we've finally got College Bridge underway, which is another net that we can use to catch kids that aren't otherwise on track to earn a CCMR point. It is through a dual credit partnership. I believe it's through Panola that we use. And they go through a course and a successful completion through the College Bridge grant. There's some extra compensation in there for the teachers, and the students get college credit, and they get the district a CCMR point. So that's another net that we've thrown in this year. But again, because it's tied to a grant, there's a lot of red tape. But we are successfully, I think we've even had a few kids finish already this school year, so that's good. Second goal, recruit, support, and retain qualified professional staff. Like I said, and I think Mr. Langley mentioned that he hasn't had quite the turnover he's had in the past. Neither has Marshall High School. And all of our EOC content areas are the same people, specifically the focus in English because of that literacy component. And we're going to continue to give our discipline-specific teachers time to get together and plan in professionally in communities and make sure that our schedule facilitates that all the way around. Last but not least is create a learning environment that's positive and safe. Last year, with the help of the principal at Crockett, as the other APs, we finally did put in a full incentive program, and it's amazing what kids will do just to go over to Golden Chick for lunch and not get yelled at. or to go to a food truck just because it came to school because they were doing the right thing. And we're pointing it out and saying, here, you get to go this time. So it's amazing what kids will do for that. It's amazing what teachers do to wear jeans. All those things considered. Character strong's in place. For the first semester, I want full disclosure, for the first semester, we're going to continue to honor and respect what we started last year with the Freshman Center. Once shovels start working and hammers start hammering, that's probably going to look a little different on campus, but we're going to maintain that to the best of our ability. But that's our plan there at Marshall High School.
Very good. Good job. Good job.
What an amazing group of principals. Yes. They worked very, very hard this year, along with Ms. Tidwell. They work very hard every year, but working on the campus improvement plans to really try to focus and hone in on what was targeted. So you have the full plan in your board book, multiple pages. They just brought you the highlights of what is truly their target. So the district did the same thing as we were developing the district improvement plan, is to really focus and hone in on what was the most prioritizing needs and areas, and making sure that what we're writing down aren't just words, but what we're going to live by. So they worked hard this summer. Several times they came and met. They met with their teams on campuses, so kudos to all of them. And I think that speaks to the retention that we've talked about on campuses, and it speaks to the student growth that we have and student achievement that we see. So great group of folks to work with, and so excited and working with them. So Marshall ISD's plan, I've just brought you a few highlights. You can just go ahead and roll to the next one. Is we just minimize some of the strategies, put some numbers to them, but always looking at goal 1, increasing our academic performance of all of our students, reading, math, social studies, science, and our bilingual ESL. And our objective is to increase student achievement on readiness assessments, and that includes everything from our CLI with our little ones at MECC all the way up to our high school students by 3%. So looking at our beginning of the year to the end of the year. So utilizing continuous job embedded professional development, using our resources that we have that are aligned to our state standards, analyzing the data from previous years' STAR questions. We're not going to talk so much about STAR percentages and scores. We're just going to look at growth with our students. And utilizing our common assessments, benchmarks, as well as our other diagnostic assessments to make true data-driven decisions on instruction. And then provide professional learning opportunities to build the capacity of our instructional coaches. They had a full year of instructional coaching training this past year, so they are actually doing a true instructional coaching position and utilizing that format. Goal number 1, also to increase academic performance of all students in reading, math, social studies, and science. Social studies and science, and I just put these strategies here for those two. Was strategy number 3 was the integrating of science and social studies literacy and literature in there to help our students, because if they don't understand the content they're reading, they can't answer the questions in the reading passages. STEM. The strategy with STEM is to provide professional development on implementing project-based lessons so that we're integrating truly those STEM concepts in with our students. Those teachers are also working on a national certification, so that works within this particular strategy. And then implementing STEM-based projects such as coding, our Legos, and robotics into their primetime learning blocks. CCMR, we're right there with Marshall High School and MEGS as well, because they right now still have a CCMR component. However, TEA is rethinking Domain 1 for alternative education accountability campuses. So we're not real sure. However, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, taking a CCMR off of the 40% of MEGS or an alternative education campus probably would be more beneficial. Those students don't have the same opportunities and the scope to get those CCMR points as students at Marshall High School. So depending on how they make that Domain 1 look, it could be beneficial, but right now they still haven't finished the accountability handbook. So we don't know.
What if?
It's the what if. It's the what if. What if we didn't have accountability for 2020?
What they are.
Which is what they should have done in the first place. Because now we're waiting until almost November. So, sidebar, I'm sorry, I digress just a moment. We every week we get an update from TEA from performance reporting, and this particular one had the last thing that they posted was in September that we had our final CCMR outcomes bonus for 2021.
Yeah.
So then everything after that was the accountability ratings, the accountability handbook, the accountability this, that, and the other. I'm sorry. Siri didn't know what I was talking about, did she?
We'll let it slide since you're new.
Yes. So everything from September the 12th or whatever date it was that we got the teal notice for our CCMR outcomes bonus was delayed.
Yeah.
That was the word, delayed, for anything else coming. So I digress back to the college and career military readiness. Focusing on that with our students, and it's not just about getting the point for the accountability. It is a lot of it, but it is also for our students understanding the importance of what that point stands for and represents. It could be their ACT, SAT, their TSI test. It could be that industry-based certification. And Ms. Bray came and shared with me, I think, Mr. Greger, we had 16 finished math, and we have 4 that have finished the ELA piece of it, and to get our CCMR point, they have to complete both of them. So those students are well on their way of bridging that gap. So very excited for that. The last page, recruit, employ, retain well-qualified professional staff. Ms. Brown and the HR department do an amazing job at that. We step in to help train our teachers, so it takes all of us working together. District level employee to meet with and provide support for new teachers to the district to begin a mentoring program, so we are a year into that. I believe that was another piece that helped our teachers. We provided support for them both on the educational academic side, as well as Mr. Hancock and Ms. Woolen meeting with those teachers once a month for just a wellness check. How are you doing? How are you feeling? And do you need to cry? It's okay. Or do you need to celebrate? You know, and what is all this stuff in my check? And, you know, what is TRS? So it was just wellness check-ins for teaching them about the other side of being an educator. Exercise fiscal responsibility, I believe we had a 100, so enough said there. Safety and discipline, developing the Maverick Way, continuing to implement the Maverick Way. We see it more and more, and I believe just in conversation with the principals that is showing signs of lessening our discipline that we have. And then parent, family, and community engagement. That's always a huge piece, and it's always a struggle for MISD, and it is in other areas, to get our parents and our families to come to things. So we have not your regular math and other activities for them. So thank you again, principals, for working so hard on our campus and district improvement plans, and if you would consider and improve these plans, if you need to read them in full, they're in your board book.
That's a lot of work from all of y'all. I've been there and done that, so thank y'all very much for all the work y'all do.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll entertain a motion on each of those.
I move that we accept plans as presented.
A second.
Have a motion by Ms. Marshall and a second by Ms. Fisher. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? That motion carries.
Burris,
Yes.
before you continue, just on behalf of all these people, I know when I say this, I'm speaking for all of them. Thank you guys for choosing to work here, and thank you for all that you do, because it does not go unnoticed. I know we can't pay as much as some other people. We tried. We tried. Okay. But thank you for what you do.
Yes, thank you.
And remember who you're going to vote for in your legislature when we talk about raises again. We're still waiting on them to make some decisions.
Yes, thank y'all very much. All right, moving along to finance. Item 1 is budget amendments. Ms. Byrd.
Only if you're bringing us money, Ms. Burris.
Taken away.
Mostly I'm just moving things in between function codes. And actually, we had already asked for this money last year on MECC. We just haven't completed the project. So all the money that's left over from that's going to roll into fund balance. So I'm just asking to take what is left of the $3.4 million and take it back out of fund balance so that we can finish the project. So that changes the bottom line by $1.3 million.
All right, we have a motion on that budget amendment.
This finishes that out, right? That project?
That is all that's remaining of the money. I'm assuming it'll finish it out. Will that finish it out?
We're hoping.
It'll come out of our fund balance.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Right.
Yeah.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Palmer, a second by Ms. Fisher. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries. Item 2 is to consider and approve the purchase of the Skyward software renewal. Mr. Joko?
Mr. Brooks is actually meeting with Conterra right now about the problem with the fiber that was being cut, so that's where he is right this second. This is just the annual re-up with Skyward, which is our financial information systems and our student information systems that we ask for annually.
Yep. Okay.
I move that we accept the Skyward software renewal.
Second. I have a motion by Mr. Marshall and a second by Mr. Medina. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries. Item 3 is consider and approve the authorized user for the Lone Star investment pool accounts. Ms. Byrd?
We just had some staffing changes in the finance department, so on both the pools, the Lone Star and the Tex pool, we are removing the person that left our department, and we're adding our finance coordinator to back me up. If I'm not there, she will be able to make a transfer. And then we will have Jocelyn Vera, she's being promoted to accounting specialist, and she will have view-only access because she will be doing our bank reconciliations, and she'll pull the statements off, so she'll have view-only. Those are the changes on that.
Okay, we have a motion for that? Motion that we approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Lewis and a second by Mr. Medina. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? The motion carries. Item 4 is consider and approve the authorized users for Tex pool investment pools.
And it's the exact same thing that we're doing for Lone Star.
Okay, we have a motion for that one.
I make a motion we approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Medina, a second by Ms. Marshall. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? The motion carries. Okay, the board will now adjourn into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Chapter 551-074 and 551-071.
Thank y'all for coming, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much.